What's really good, LeSBP trading familia, buenos dias, bonjour, bom dia. Thank you all for tuning in. So, gonna try to make this a quick, short video. We're doing an analysis, and sorry, I feel like I gotta sneeze. If it sounds like I'm, pulling back, it's because I really feel like I gotta sneeze, but it ain't coming out. So, we're gonna do a really quick analysis on Doyle Exchange. He had 2 trades on GU. So title is How I Made $12,782 in 2 days trading Forex, questions and answers. He does have a lot of questions and answer kind of scenarios in there where he kind of talks to, I guess people are asking him questions on the channel, or maybe they were asking him over Instagram, because he does have an Instagram as well. So either way, we're going to analyze the GU trades that he took, and then we're going to see if possibly if we could have jumped into those trades, but into GU, excuse me, not his exact trades, but if we could have jumped into GU that day, and 2, what do we think about the trades that he took? I always like to say this at the beginning. This is not to bash anybody. I am not saying that I'm better than anybody or they're better than me or go get their strategy. I'm not promoting them or nothing like that or whatever. The simple reason why I do this is because I feel like, seeing that difference in my strategy and theirs, especially the people that I actually like him. I like him, Trader Nick, Charlene FX, like looking Mamba FX as well, like looking at their strategy and stuff like that. I feel like it helps me out just a little bit because they stay as disciplined as possible. That's how you make money. You continue to make money when you stay disciplined. You have one strategy, you keep that strategy, and you keep on moving forward with it. So trying to learn from them basically is what I'm trying to say. All right, so from this point, I got my little timestamps. Oops. Sorry, got my little timestamps over here. So from there, basically what I like to do is, if you have never seen any of my analysis videos, I like to kind of jump through using timestamps to figure out exactly where I want to be at. So from 01 to literally 1 minute and 52 seconds, he's pretty much just doing like an intro. He's talking a little bit about the trades and who he is and stuff like that or whatever, how to reach out to him and all that great stuff. From there, he has this trade here that he's going to take on GU on the 14th. So he starts off by looking at the 1 hour chart, or maybe he doesn't start off by looking at the 1 hour chart, but in this specific timestamp, he's looking at the 1 hour chart. The reason he's looking for that is because he's trying to figure out where the trend is going, and it looks to be going up. But in some cases, you can actually take a kind of counter trend trade in a sense. You could take a sell or you could take a buy. If it was selling, you could take a buy. It just depends on where that pullback is happening, where the area is, and he does supply and demand zones as well, which I think is really, really good for this kind of stuff. I'm not great at it, so I can't speak on it very much, but at the same time, I feel like there are certain ways that I can get into the market just as well as he can too. So let's go ahead and look at the trade. So from here, 1 hour, he's looking at the 1 hour area, then right around like 240-ish, 250-ish, he draws out this kind of supply zone, and he's really looking for an entry candle now. So he sees the market kind of trickling back down. He sees this supply zone area, and then from here, he's looking for an entry into the market. Moving forward, probably about 2 more candles, he finds his entry, decides to get in, puts a stop loss right at the top of that supply zone, and then I believe he was looking for like a 1 to 1.5 almost. Ended up getting that within literally like 15 minutes because these are on the 5-minute chart now. He's on the 5-minute chart now instead of the 1 hour, and boom, he's in and out. So a lot of my trades are a little bit different. I also call myself or consider myself a scalper, but for whatever reason, I end up staying in for like 2 hours. So I don't know, maybe that makes me an intraday trader. I don't know, but either way, that's the first trade on GU, and then that's on the 14th, and then he has one more trade on the 15th. So right after about 358, somewhere right along here, he already kind of knows where the market is going. You can see that it's trending upward. He's on the 5-minute chart right now. And basically, he ends up drawing out another zone. So roughly around 426. And this is on the 15th. Now, this was a PPI news day, I believe. That's where that huge spike came from. So right here, he finds a demand zone. So the first one was a supply zone. This one is a demand zone. So he's basically looking for a buy instead of a sell on this one. All right. So he did say it was kind of risky. I feel like it's also kind of risky because, as you can tell, that demand zone is kind of fucking big. But he finds an area to get in at it. He knows what the hell he's doing on this. And That's all he needs. You know what I mean? He finds his area. He knows what he's shooting for or where he's shooting for. And then boom, literally in another 10 to 15 minutes, he's in, he's out, he's got his money. And that's 12.7K. You know what I mean? So after that, basically the rest of the video is pretty much talking about risk management, which is great, but I'm not going to dabble into that. So moving on from there, going on to the chart where I would look at GU. All right, so GU. Once again, like I said, brief disclaimer. One, I don't trade this. But two, at the same time, this is, like I said, not to bash anybody. I'm not trying to say that I'm better or they're better or promoting them or promoting myself. Nothing like that. All right, so I start off at 7 o'clock in the morning. And because I don't trade GU, I had to go off of the strategy that I use on everything else, which is my method one, break and retest strategy. It's simple, fucking easy. You get an indication of a buy or sell. You wait for the 200 and 500 to be crossed. After it's crossed, which is called my break, I wait for the retest of that 200 or 500 area. After that, I enter. Like literally, it's like probably one of the simplest things. So 7 o'clock happens. We don't have a good break and retest here. We do have a break here, but we have a retest way down here at 11 o'clock. This is on the 14th, by the way. It's the 14th. That's our first retest. This is, we get into this trade. Remember, we're mock trading. So we would have got into this trade right here. I only allow about 5 pips because that's what the last candle was. Or you could go up to here depending on, you know, how you feel and stuff like that. But I like to try to make it a 1-to-1. So I try to make the stop loss really small. And I do a 1-to-1 so that I can move my stop loss to break even as fast as possible. So I wouldn't have liked the 86 or 8.6. I would have wanted this 5.6. So 5.6 pips later. And if you look at it like this, 5.6 pips later, boom, right after this candlestick, we move stops to break even. It did go down a little bit more to roughly about 22 pips, but then it came right back up and would have knocked us out at break even. On this second trade, which is basically another version of the retest, and my strategy is kind of redundant. It's repetitive or repetitive. I don't know, one of those words, but it's repetitive. Basically, every retest, you try to jump back in to see if you can catch the trend. So right here, same shit, literally, jump in, and that one would have been a loss for only about 2.8 pips. This one would have been a break even for 5.6 pips. That one would have been a loss for 5.8 pips. Then you go back to look at this one right here, and this one is 2.6 pips. So literally it would have rose up, went about 2.6 pips. I think it actually made it all the way up to like 14 or something like that, and then it came right back down by the end of the day. So another break-even trade. So on the 14th, instead of us winning anything, we would have lost 2 trades. So then you get to the 15th. Basically, all I was trying to show right here is the fact that we had our nice break. Here's a very nice retest. And then after that, we could have actually got what we needed, which was about 80 pips. But we don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so we start at 7. On the news day, remember I said this was a news day. On news days, we have a different method. I call it my method 2 for the news. I literally just came up with this like not even a week and a half ago. So for me, I'm not exactly looking for break and retest. I'm looking for a break in structure in a sense, and then an entry. That's probably the best way to explain it. So right here, try it one time. That would have been 4.3 pip loss. Right here would have been another loss. I think it would have been a little bit more than one, but another pet peeve of mine, or something that I try not to do, is to trade like a minute or two right before the news comes out. So I'm not even sure if I really would have taken that trade, but this is a what's the word I'm looking for? This is one place where we could have possibly been able to trade, is what I'm trying to say. Next one is here. And this is actually after we see the break-in trend. Like I was saying, you saw it go up. Now we're watching it kind of go and trickle back down. Doyle actually took a trade somewhere in this specific area, which worked out for him beautifully on the buy because he just saw that demand area and ended up buying. For me, I would be looking for the sell. So right here, lost another 8.4 pips, but then we finally got what we needed. Traded this, got a little bit close to that stop loss. But we ended up getting the 100 pips, not 80 pips, 100. I keep saying 80. I don't know what to aim for because I don't trade GU. usually when I'm trading like Nas 100, I would aim for 120. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I aim for 120. So maybe we should just say 120. So easy 120, just beautiful, easy 120 there. And then after that would have been all she wrote. That would have been the last trade. So for me, I think it would have been different. Definitely would have been difficult because one, I don't trade GU, but two, looking for the entries are a little bit different for me than they are for Doyle because he's using supply and demand, and he knows how to use that stuff and I don't. So I would have had to use my method one, break and retest strategy, or on the news I would have had to use my method two strategy or whatever. I don't even know what to call it yet, but either way, appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you once again. I know it still ended up being 11 minutes long almost, so thank you all for being here. Don't forget, please go back and watch their video. Don't just take my word for the analysis. He has a bunch of information. He has I think he has a book. He has where you can contact him on Instagram. He has where you, or at least see his stories. I don't know if you can contact him. You can see his stories or connect with him. He has a bunch of stuff. I think he has a chat, stuff like that or whatever. So please go check out his channel. I think that's about it. All right, y'all. Thanks. Peace.